Hey everybody. Today we are going to work with ArcGIS Pro 2.7 and we are going to be doing some annotation. All right, I know that's not a fun topic, but we have to do it every once in a while. So today I'm going to try to make this video short as I can for part one. And what we're doing is we're ultimately going to convert our labels into an annotation feature class. And what we want to do is normally when you label, you only have control over all the labels at once in a feature class, okay? But I'm going to show you how you can assign a class to each one of your labels. That way you can annotize or change the look and feel of each label independently based on some value. Okay, so on this screen what you see right now, this is Mars. This is not Earth. I do areography or aerology. And what you see on the map now is a digital surface model of Mars with some hill shade, and the red dots are cataloged crater names on Mars. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to label the names of the craters. So most of you know how to do labeling. All right, so you right click on the feature class that you want to label and you basically just push label, and it's going to put the labels based on whatever the default is, the default locations for those labels. Right now all these labels are the same size. Now you can go in, right click, go to labeling properties, and you can change the properties of the text, right? So you can go to symbol and go to appearance, and let's say we want to make the text a little smaller. You'll go to size, change that to whatever size that you want, and apply, and all the labels change at the same time. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to turn these labels into different classes. So the different sizes of craters dictate the size of the text that we're labeling. Okay, if you'll notice up here in the label class dialog, there's only one class, and that's class 0. And class 0 is the default. That means everything. All right. But what we want to do is I have values inside the attribute table for these craters. Let's open up the attribute table real quick for craters. And you'll notice I've got name, type. We have crater diameter, and that's in kilometers. And I have a class number. And that class number is based on the size of the crater. All right. So we're going to use this class number to develop a list or develop different classes for our label text. Okay, so let's get rid of this. All right, so in order to create labels by class, a good way to do it, or the fast way to do it, is do it by the symbology of the actual feature. So we're going to click on this this symbol, and we're going to change our single symbol to a graduated symbol. So you notice that our circles, we get circles of different sizes. All right, and those are based on the diameter of the crater. All right, so our biggest one is almost 100 kilometers across. All right, our smallest one is 5 kilometers across. All right, or thereabouts. All right, now I'm going to leave it at 5 classes. I'd probably do it different. You can have as many classes here as you want, but we're going to leave it at the default 5. Okay, so now over here in our table of contents, we have 5 classes of crater. All right, now one thing that I want to do over here in this dialog box is I want to change these names so they're not ranges of values. Okay, so I'm going to say the small ones are class 5 and class 4, and then class 3 and class 2, and finally class 1 for our bigger craters. Okay, notice that those numbers show up over here in the table of contents. All right, so we have that ready. Now we can close the symbology and we can go right click on the craters and go to labeling properties. Now if you remember, by default there was only one class, and that was 0, and we still have 0. All right, but we're going to add in these 5 to that list. And how you do that is you come up to these 3 horizontal lines. It's kind of like the settings on your smartphone in a way. Okay, and you're going to create label classes from the symbology. That means we're going to have 5 different classes. So I'm going to click there, and it gives you the list, and then this is the label that we just typed in. We changed the values into a single number. All right, and now I'm going to keep all these defaults. I'm not going to make any changes to this. Okay, so we click OK. Now when I do a drop down of the classes, you see all of the classes here. Okay, now the only thing is class 0 still exists, and class 0 is everything. All right, so 5 are only our small craters, and 1 is only the big craters that fall within the value of our table of contents. Okay, but 0 is everything. And usually when I do annotation is I get rid of 0. All right, I don't keep 0. So make sure that you have a check mark next to the 0 and come over here and remove that label class. Now I only have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so if you want to change the text, I'm going to show you real quick. Now these are just labels. This is not annotation. This is just labeling. All right. Now let's see if you look at Sharanoff crater. Okay, Sharanoff crater is the biggest crater in this data set. This is a subset of the entire surface of Mars, just for this video. But Sharanoff crater is actually, I think, the biggest crater in this area that we're working with. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to class 1. So now if you notice, class 1 is our active label set, our label class. And now I can come over here to symbol, and I can change its size. Let's make it 16, and let's make it bold, and hit apply. You notice that Sharanoff crater's text, and only Sharanoff crater, has changed size. Okay, so we can show bigger craters and bigger text. So we can go down to, let's go to class 2 and change its size to 12 maybe, and let's make it bold, and then click apply. So Atumwa has increased in size. All right, now each one of these classes are independent from one another. So your label class is based on the size or some number that you have in your database, in your attribute table. So you can change each one of these texts separately from the whole. Okay, now if we kept, remember we deleted class 0, but if we kept class 0, Class 0 would apply to all of all of the labels, okay? Not just subsets of them. 0 is everything. I know that's kind of stupid, but that's the way it is. 0 means everything, all right? So you could have kept class 0 for maybe some general stuff, but when you turn on your labels and turn them off, you'll see duplicates of everything, and yeah, but that might be confusing to you. But you can come in and turn them off, but you have to know to do that. But usually when I'm doing annotation, I go ahead and get rid of 0 and just used my class labels to convert those to annotation. Okay, so that was the quick and dirty of how to classify labels for showing them differently on your map. Okay, the next video we are going to convert this into an annotation class that you can have more control over. So I welcome you guys to come back for the second video on annotation, and I hope that you subscribe and like and hit the bell for notifications, and come on back and tell your friends, and we will see you later.